Hi everyone, Gary Cassidy here, and thank you for joining us again on Dropkick DiSKussions. Well, my guest today, what can I say about them? I don't think I need to say too much. I'll leave you with them being a 3-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, a WWE Hall of Famer, and they've even appeared on All Elite Wrestling. It's DDP, Diamond Dallas Page.
One of the main takeaways that I took from it was that you'd mentioned that Drew McIntyre was the next big thing. For me, he's one of the best talents in the world, but he's just not quite managed to reach the Universal or WWE Championship just yet. Do you still think he's the next big thing? And if so, how far away do you think it is before he's the top guy?
I think that he still is. I think they just have to let him be himself. You know, because, you know, with WWE, it's a lot of, you know, a lot of story. You know, guys have different stories that they have to live out. Like, I never saw him as a psychopath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, warrior, okay, but psychopath, I never saw that. And you know, so I think that in the big picture, they just gotta let him be himself, and sometimes it takes time. You know, I mean, look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, when he came in, when he was the ring bearer and was working with Ted DiBiase, he was the same wrestler. He just wasn't the same guy. They had to let Steve be Steve, and eventually they did. And we know what happened.
Yeah, that's the reason I actually asked that question was I need to thank you for sharing a Sportskeeda article a couple of weeks ago about someone who I think is incredibly talented right now and has the world in their hand, and it's MJF, a guy you've been working with very, very closely. Man, firstly, just what's your opinion on how far he's come in I'd say quite a short space of time. I'm guessing it doesn't feel like that for him. But what do you think about his journey so far, and especially now that you've been working with him?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because he's my pick for the most, you know, the hottest up-and-coming guy in 2020. You know, I think that he's got a lot of natural ability that you can tell he loves being a heel. But there's going to come a time, and when he went out there this week and, you know, did to save Cody out there and lit the place up, like the crowd popped bigger than they have for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, being able to do the moves and the high spots and the big oohs and ahs definitely is what wrestling is about today. But who can grab and captivate the people by their charisma? You know, a la Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Steve Austin, The Rock, you know, DDP, you know, whatever. You know, grab the people and make them react. That's what MJF has. And what's, you know, he's just another guy just sort of like pull under my wing a little bit because when I see someone who wants as bad as that he does, but is willing to put the work in, you know, that's the part that's pivotal to me. Like, he'll do an interview or something, he'll go, "What do you think?" I'll go, "Blah, blah, blah." And he'll go, "No, what'd you really think?" Like, he really wants to know. You know, he wants to know, and then, you know, he's a lot of it's just natural ability because he grew up. There is a video on YouTube of him on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Yeah.
He's 5 years old, and he does what he calls opera. He's 5. And he says on the show, you know, with Rosie, "I'm going to be an opera singer when I grow up and a wrestler." I mean, that's the vision, you know, and again, he gets it. So, you know, couldn't say enough good things about the kid. As long as he can keep his feet on the ground, you know, as he's reaching for the stars, the world is his oyster, literally. You know, and as long as you can do that, never believe your own hype. That pisses people off.
Definitely, and that's on the opposite end of the scale. Another man who you've worked very closely with, who can't say many more good things about DDPY than he already has, is Chris Jericho. Man, what do you think about him still being on top of his game? I think he's 48 years old now.
Yeah, 49 on November 9th. And I'm just so happy to be a part of Chris's being able to do that, because he'll be the first one. He tells everybody, not just on his podcast, that DDPY is the reason why he's still able to do the things he can do. That his heart, his determination, his, just his insane drive, but just to be a little piece of it that literally helps him get out there every night and pull out, you can look at Chris Jericho in the match he had with Kenny Omega and go back and look at a match he did 8 years ago, and the guy's still out there busting his ass just as hard. The fact that he's going to be 49 holding back the hands of time is, it's super special, and it's great that I can actually, support him and his podcast, which does Killer, and Chris has always, sent us a ridiculous amount of people, in and without, and anybody he wants to have on the program, whether it's musicians or athletes or whatever. He's actually featured in a new documentary that we've got coming out, and he's in it a couple of times. It's called Relentless, and it's the story of me blowing my back out in 1999, and then then the doctors telling me I'm never going to wrestle again, to where we are today. And Steve Austin's featured in it as well, because those guys were around. Steve was around when I was putting it together, and he was like, dude, what are you thinking? This DDP yoga thing's never going to happen. Stop wasting your money. It's killing me to watch you do that. And it goes from him saying that to him showing up at my DDP Yoga Performance Center in Smyrna, Georgia, just out, it's part of a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, and he's blown away. AJ Styles is in it. Guys who I work with. Look at AJ. He is literally a superhero.
Yeah.
And again, Ricochet, just because when I was down at the NXT, working with the young guys down there, Ricochet will tell you when he's on the road. If he's on a hard road, he don't even go to the gym. He just literally hits the mat. That's what he does.
Man, and if it works for him, then he's probably one of the most exciting guys to watch on the planet right now. But you mentioned there DDPY. That's obviously mainly the fitness aspect of it, but there's a lot about mindset. And the last time we spoke, you were actually talking in support of your book, Positively Unstoppable. How do you think, how pleased were you with how well the book was received? Because obviously I know you've done books before, but it's very different releasing a book as releasing a yoga program, or DDPY is more than yoga. But how pleased were you with how the book was received?
Well, Positively Unstoppable really only had one chapter devoted to what I do in my my DDPY program. Everything about Positively Unstoppable is about the mindset and training your brain to work at a different level, totally. It's more about training your brain than anything, and showing people how to do that. And I've got just unbelievable response from from people in general, and just how much it helped them. And what's really cool is people will tell me that they've read it 3 times, and ideally, if you get Positively Unstoppable, then you highlight it, and then you don't have to read the whole book, but you go back and you just hit the high spots, stuff that you gravitate towards, stuff that's going to teach you literally own it. You know, it's an awesome tool, and it just fits with my whole DDPY program because the workout's just a piece of it. Yeah. You know, the eating is just a piece of it. The mindset is the biggest piece of it. Yeah. So it's an awesome tool to have so that people can, you know, get the book, get the audio book, get the, you know, the digital, whatever, you know.
Yeah, and that's obviously it works, and people like Jake Roberts are very much testament to that. But one other person that you've been working very closely with recently is Big Cass, and who better to be working with him? Do you have any update at all on how he's doing for us?
I know he's in rehab right now, and he's really getting a lot of really good help. And when he comes out, and he's a really smart guy. He just went through, you know, like he took depression and all that, and you know, he's got to get to a point, you know, like where Jake is at, and it's going to. At least he's not waiting till he's in his late 50s.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing it in his early 30s. He's still got a brilliant career ahead of him. If he can stay sober, which I believe that he has the ability, he's getting. The WWE is the ones who stepped up.
Yeah.
And, you know, and took care of him. And, you know, I talked to, Johnny Ace, and talked to Triple H and Mark Carrano, and they're the guys who made it happen. They got him in the rehab, and I told him I'd help him when he got out, you know, but he needs to go in right now to really, you know, so because when you start getting blackouts is what happened to Kaz, and when you're drinking, then you don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing. So it's got to go deeper than just positive, you know, training. It's, you know, it's a huge part of it, but you know, you got to go deeper than that. All right.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great to hear that he's definitely on the road to recovery from what it sounds like. You mentioned WWE there. It seems like there's been quite a big shift recently. Two men that you're a little bit familiar with are now in charge of each brand, it would seem, creatively. There's Paul Heyman on one side, and of course Eric Bischoff is at the helm of SmackDown. What do you think about those two being in charge, and how much of a change do you think we'll see?
I think they're two of the most brilliant minds in the business. All you have to do is look at their history to know that. You know? Yeah. So I think it was a really, you know, it was a smart move by the company to bring them in. And like I said, you know, you never say never in our business. That's the one thing.
Yeah. And that's it. I've only got 2 questions left for you, man. So I've mentioned WWE there. You've actually been down to the Performance Centre, but not only that, you've been backstage at AEW Dynamite recently, and you're no stranger to being on television on a wrestling show at the same time as WWE. How do you think AEW is doing so far, and what do you make of the so-called Wednesday Night Wars?
I think that I think it's amazing for wrestling fans. You know, I said that, you know, AEW stepping up, and you know, Tony Khan, you know, created the league with, you know, with Cody and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I said it was going to make WWE better, and it already is. You know, competition, no matter where it's at. And like I always say, WWE is a juggernaut. They're bigger than wrestling. You know, AEW isn't really about, you know, superstars and sports entertainers. AEW is about professional wrestling. So it's kind of like, it's very similar, of course. But you've got some great talent down at NXT, and you've got some great talent at AEW. And I think it's only wins the most, the fans.
Yeah, 100%.
The real wrestling fans are the ones who win. And, you know, and also it's a great time to be one of the boys or girls, because, you know, now there's a point where they can make, you know, there can be so many more of them. You know, it's kind of like Vince getting ready to do the XFL.
Yeah.
the guys who really win too are the players, because now there's more teams to play for. I mean, if anybody understands AEW, it should be Vince McMahon, because he's trying to do the XFL.
Yeah.
And that would seem to be the juggernaut you can't knock down.
Yeah.
But you know what? All I know is a lot of the things that the a lot of the things that the XFL started, and one of them was the camera that goes down the middle of the field to make you feel more impact. That was an NFL idea. They took it from XFL.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of those. The team that Vince put together, they had a lot of really smart people, and it didn't work the first time. But, I know if Vince McMahon is coming and doing this again, first of all, you can't tell the guy he can't do something, because that ain't going to happen. And I'll guarantee he's learned from a lot of his mistakes and the team that he's got, from the first time, or he wouldn't be doing it again. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. But, you can't really get on AEW for starting another league when your company's starting an XFL against the NFL. It's kind of funny, when you think about it. But, I'm happy for all the guys. It's a great way, and great, just have more guys be a part. And someone like, Cody Rhodes to be able to kind of be at the helm of this thing, I don't charge them anything. I don't have a contract with AEW. I don't. I show up there. If Cody, just like if WWE was to call me and say, hey, D, we want you to do something. But I haven't heard from them since I've done stuff with AEW, but I would do something for WWE tomorrow. I would do, if they asked me to come in and do something, because I'm not a contracted player. I'm doing stuff for Cody Rhodes because he's like a nephew to me. Without him, without his dad, I wouldn't have had the career I had. So to me, I believe in what Cody's doing. I will help for anything he wants. I'm super proud of him. I think he's done an unbelievable job. I think this whole, the ratings, I guess, I don't know what they did this week, but the first week they were really strong.
Yeah.
So obviously they're giving the people, you can't watch enough wrestling, I guess. And what they're offering is just different. It's gonna be a fun ride to watch. That's all I know.
Definitely, man. And you actually completely answered my last question 100% there, which was about possibly seeing you in AEW or in WWE again. So
yeah, I already answered it. It's like if either one of them wanted me to come on, I got a feeling that I'm kind of like in the doghouse with WWE, because I didn't get to go to the Superstar, the show. But I'm good with them, and WWE's been very good to me.
Yeah,
very, very good to me. And they've done allowed me to do a lot of really cool things, and that's why so many of my guys that I work with are NXT guys, and I work with AEW guys. I'm really not the guy without the the one side or the other. I'm for professional wrestling.
Yeah,
that's what I'm for. I want them both to do really well, and I mean the SmackDown stuff that they have done on Fox. Yeah. Oh my God, the branding for WWE, I mean, it's just amazing. Like I'm watching the football games, WWE, different stars from Becky to to The Rock to to Ricochet to whoever, you see them in flashes with the football and all the, they are really pumping this SmackDown thing, like no one's ever. On our probably highest rated shows are professional football.
Yeah.
In our country, our football. So they've got an unbelievable rub there. So, yeah, again, I'm just happy for them. And I'm super happy that the boys will be, you know, guys with AEW will get that big rub when it comes to basketball season.
Yeah.
You know, which is coming. You know, and then you'll probably see a lot of them mixed into there. So it's all about getting people, you know, in the mainstream to check out their product. And I think the production level so far for a brand new company has been amazing.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. Well, thank you so much. It's been absolutely great talking to you again, man. I really appreciate you taking the time.
And let everybody know that, you know, if you go to DDPY.com, right there, you can go to the app, and you can use the app within minutes of signing up, and it's 7 days for free to try it. So you don't have to buy anything. You know, you can go and try our workouts now, which it's harder with the DVDs, you know, but people sometimes just want to have something in their hand.
Yeah.
But you can try the DDPY app, go to DDPY.com, and it's all right there. So there's no reason why anyone shouldn't at least give it a shot, because our workouts now start literally in bed. Like, you can't get out of bed, I got 3 workouts for you. Then I'll put you in the chair, which I call Chair Force. And I got 8 workouts there for you. Then I got another one's called Stand Strong, where you use a chair to get up and get down and build your strength and your balance and just take your body to a different level. And then you go to beginner, you know, all the way to Psycho Extreme. So between that and the cooking shows and Motivational Mondays, best bang for your buck. All right, brother, great talking to you. And we will talk again. Let's talk again going into Thanksgiving, so we can I can let you know what new stuff we've got coming up.
Yeah, definitely, man. Sounds great to me. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
You too, buddy. Bye.
Cheers, man. Thanks. Bye.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to DDP for chatting to us. Little known fact, DDP was actually my very first interview when I started doing wrestling interviews. So it was amazing to bring it full circle, and it's always an absolute pleasure to speak to the legend as Diamond Dallas Page. If you guys enjoyed it almost as much as I did, do let us know. Leave a little comment, hit that little thumbs up, or give us a share on social media. Thank you again for watching, and stay tuned for more exclusive content.